Hello, hello, Mr. Duran. How are you doing? My name is Azzam Gadala. How are you doing today?
Hey, Azzam, how you doing? I'm doing well today, man. I'm doing well.
Wow, that's amazing. Could you please give us your full name, your occupation, and where you work?
So my name is Dwayne Gilliland. I'm the director of recruiting at Indian Creek Foundation. And just to mention, I know you said I have to keep my camera on, but here at the office, we only have desktops, so they don't have cameras on them. So we just. So sorry about that.
Nah, I completely understand. I'm very grateful for you for coming, accepting my email and taking this interview. And again, my biggest appreciation and gratitude. So thank you for that. Thank you.
Of course, of course. I was very excited to see your email, and I was very intrigued by it, because we don't have that many people in this company who are your age who are also still in school. So when I got the email about a student wanting to interview me and know what I'm doing on a day to day for their class project, I was very happy and excited to see that. So best of luck to you in the journey as well.
Thank you so much. I know you've already read the email, of course, and that's why you're in the Zoom meeting. But just to reiterate, I would like to, repeat what I've said in the email again for clarification purposes. My name is Azam Gadala. I am currently a sophomore at Penn State, Abington, and I am studying business marketing. And I have a high interest in recruiting, as I do want to pursue that as a job career in the future. And
Okay.
after I graduate, and for my meteorology class, my professor he's asked me to interview you for this 10-minute interview. So glad you accepted again, and I just want to just ask you some questions about what is your job like and how does the weather affect your job. Just
Mhm.
a few questions like that, and
All right, let's get into it.
all right,
Ask away.
perfect. Sounds good. All right. So what's a typical, day or week like for you as a recruiter at Indian Creek Foundation?
Okay, so my role is a little bit different from traditional recruiter just because I'm the director of recruiting. So I'm dealing with issues that your typical small time recruiter would not deal with, you know. So the not small time entry level recruiters, I'm sorry. So the entry level recruiters, they're calling people who have applied, they're speaking with them, they're talking to potential applicants who applied to be consumers for our company. While me, I'm dealing with more with things that require more intensive eyes. You know what I'm saying? So so what'll happen is I'm calling the consumers who have past qualifications from our recruiters up top. It's kind of like moving up the hierarchy board. First, they have to get past these guys, get past these guys, past these guys, and ultimately it falls on my desk for me to review it. So that's what my day to day would look like. I'm really on the phone most of the time, calling my supervisors, making sure everything's in order, calling these guys, calling out those guys, making sure our relationship with the staffing agencies are still well, stuff like that.
So as a senior manager recruiter, do you have, like a control or like authority over the the entry level recruiters, for example?
I have yes. Any all the recruiters, so like their payroll has to go through me. When we have to recruit people from staffing agencies, I have to approve of their hours, their payroll, their this, their that. So we're very heavily integrated with each other. If they have any questions, supervisors can't answer it, they have to come to me, so yeah.
Another question, how long has your tenure been at recruiting or at Indian Creek Foundation for
So
specific
in
purposes?
Indian Creek, I've been working at Indian Creek for over 20 years. Yep. So 20 years. And I've been a recruiter for about 7 years now, 7, 8 years.
Wow, that's you must have a lot of experience then.
Yeah, yeah,
Approximately,
man. Been around the block.
wow. Approximately, how many people have you employed or hired to Indian Creek Foundation, for example?
Oh, hundreds, hundreds. You know,
Wow, that's
when I was an employee, just I'd run through like 4 or 5 fellow people that I was working with in just a 2, 3 month span. So once you get to the recruiting side of it, and you have to speak to people or whatever, you'd be surprised how many people do the entire recruitment process just to not show up for their first day, or you know. Yeah, so I've definitely spoken to over hundreds of people. If I could estimate the past 7 to 8 years, maybe at least 300, 400 individuals that I've had to speak with.
wow, that's absolutely amazing. I was actually really interested in recruiting due to, the fast pace. One day somebody's looking for a job, the next day they either have one or they're gone. The job is never stagnant, which really resonated with me, and that's why I was so interested in recruiting and asking
Oh
you.
yeah, this is definitely a job that will keep you on your feet all day, keep you moving. Now,
uh,
if that's what you're looking for, you don't have to scurry and worry about that. You know, you're definitely gonna have a lot of that.
Wow, that's absolutely amazing. Another question. How does, the weather play a role? I know as a recruiter, it's not really severe, but occasionally could the weather affect you in your role or hiring somebody, for example?
Me personally, the weather does not affect me because I live about 10 minutes away from the office, and I'm also working hybrid. So the weather doesn't really affect my position. It really affects me when we have inclement weather because I have to make sure that the supervisors have their homes in order. Like the supervisors that manage the homes have to make sure that their staff, no staff have called out. None of that has happened, so we don't have to run into any hiccups or mismatches.
That makes so much sense. Thank you for explaining that to me and divulging into that. So, another interest, do you have an interesting story or lesson that you could, tell me about your experience working as a recruiter?
One thing I can say is, as an advice for you, is to never stop chasing your education. Always keep striving. You know, no matter how long it takes. Let's say you don't have you're not able to get the financial aid for it. You're not able to whatever. If you can only afford one class a semester, or 2 classes a semester, go for it. Because at the end of the day, the position I'm in right now, I wouldn't have been able to get it if it wasn't for my degree. You know, I needed this degree to get to the space I'm in to be able to move up this hierarchy. You know, so if you are able to get a degree and find yourself in a position, do it because that helps you go get the more premier positions than the regular ones. You know, and this is all about not just the degrees, but just certificates, whatever. Just consistently and constantly pursuing education. You know, because that could be the thing that separates you and another candidate for a promotion. You know, and you want to make sure that you stand out.
Wow, I've never even thought of that. Me versus another candidate, the person with the better resume wins.
Definitely.
I definitely like to, get my master's in marketing and recruiting. So, after that, who knows, maybe even a doctorate. Would you, for my final question, do you have any advice for somebody into the recruiting field or a college student just wanting to come into the field?
Uh, Piece of advice I'd give to a young person entering the field is be a sponge. You know, be a sponge. Remember that even though, or if you believe that nobody's watching, somebody's always watching. You know, so you want to bring your A game. I believe in a saying, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So make sure, you can be the slappiest guy outside of work, but when you come inside work, shirt's tucked, you're sharp, you're not looking at distractions, you're working. Ultimately that will affect your outside life to where you become sharp as well. So yeah, you just want to make sure that that's what you're doing.
Mr. Dwayne, I want to thank you so much for, coming into this interview and giving me so much gems of pieces of advice. I wish you nothing but the best for the rest of your career. And
Hmm.
again, please, I'd like to give you my greatest, sincerest gratitude for coming, accepting my interview, and teaching me what you know.
Of course, and anytime you want to do one of these or you need something for your class projects or anything, just reach out to me. Reach out to me, and I'll definitely remember you, and I'll help you. No issues.
Wow. Again, thank you so much. You have a great rest of your day, and take care.
All right, you as well.